hello. Welcome back to Two Nigerian Women. My name is Ibukun.
Hi everyone, my name is Abidemi and welcome to today's episode. Thank you
Yes,
for joining us
welcome,
in the
welcome.
studio.
You know what? We don't do enough of this. We are a young YouTube channel. We are not young chickens ourselves. Well, spring chickens, as I say.
I
But
am
we are a
young.
young.
I am
Well,
very young.
I'm happy for you. But the point of this is we are a young YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, share. Links to our podcasts on whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple or any of the podcast platforms or even watching on YouTube. Please share. Tell people about the Two Nigerian Women that make you laugh, hopefully make you think, and hopefully reconcile the conversation at the end of each episode
Yeah.
to an action point. We're
Yeah.
trying. We are trying.
Mm.
Anyways, but yes, welcome back to Two Nigerian Women. Um, Today's topic is an interesting one, and it's only because in church on Sunday, and as we've shared, we're Christians, and in church on Sunday, the pastor was talking about just scratch the surface. You will find anger
Mm.
amongst everyone, even those sitting in church listening to him. And I checked myself because it's very true. I tend to start some conversations, not all conversations, with I'm not an angry person, but this upset me.
Mm.
And I've noticed in more frequently than not, I actually say this more and more. And so we're going to talk about anger. Why is the world so angry? Sissy,
Angry.
what do you think?
I think life is just really hard in terms of finances for a lot of people. I'm not an angry person. In fact, I'm not saying I'm not not like I am not serious with life, but I'm not an angry person. Just that I can have a very serious face. But if you don't know me, you think that I am. I don't know. I actually don't know how people perceive me. I used to get people who think I was stuck up. Now,
Mm,
not necessarily that, but not unfriendliness, not the word, but I think I don't pretend to be who I'm not, and I don't try and make an effort if I know you are not going to reciprocate. So game
mm,
face on, busy, focus, tunnel vision. I'm not here for you. I'm here for what I need to do and do it and get
mhm,
out.
mm,
So like I used to be very open. Like I am still very open when it comes to school moms and all of that. I'm very open. I'm happy to
mm,
share and be friendly. But I just find that a lot of the times those friendships don't go beyond the gate. So I don't overexert myself. I don't pull myself out there. I don't do too much. I do what I can, what is convenient for me, and then I leave the
mm,
rest. So I am very and you don't have to like me. The common goal is we're
mm,
doing something for the school, and that's the important thing. I was talking with a friend yesterday because she seems to think somebody had it in for her. I said,
mm,
well, it doesn't matter whether she had it in for you. Is she being disrespectful? No, she's not. She doesn't have to like you. And that's okay. But don't be
mm,
disrespectful. And I think a lot of the times, a lot of people
mm,
want people to like them. You are not, for me, you are not jollof rice. You cannot like you. Some people hate jollof rice. You're not ice cream. But neither are you cake. So they cannot like you. Even money, there's some
mm.
people that hate money. So they
It's
can't like
true.
so I think we need to come to terms that you are not going to get along with everyone. And so you may be perceived as an angry person because of the way you see life or the way you carry yourself or the way you present yourself. And until they
Mm,
touch the surface to know who you are, they cannot tell. But it's very easy for people to judge from the outside looking in that you look angry or you look too serious. I have my game face on, tunnel vision. This is what I'm here for, and I don't look at anything else. But why are people generally angry? I just think a lot of things are going wrong with society generally. When it even
mm,
comes to how the government, yes, thank God that we have a government that listens to its people.
mm,
A lot of people will beg to disagree, but when you come from a country that the citizens' rights are not necessarily listened to, you know that you have a gold mine wherever you are in a developed country. So you're
mm,
in a country where the government basically listens to its citizens, but then again, there are a lot of things that are not in the favor of its citizens, and the government is out to
mm,
squeeze, and squeeze onto the last drop. I run a business with my husband, and you end up paying so much tax in the name
mm,
of income tax. You make so much, but make so little. when you look at it.
Little.
So when you
Mm.
think about those kind of things, you have to make, but the more you make, the more you're taxed. So where do you draw the line?
Mm-hmm.
It allows people get very upset. Generally, last
Mm.
year we had 2 years ago we had a fuel crisis. I don't have
Mm.
a diesel or fuel car. I have an electric car. And I was
Mm.
leaving somewhere and there was a fuel queue. And obviously, where we're leaving, we have to pass. You cannot block an exit or an entrance. And some guy was an
Mm.
exit and beeped my horn. And he was so angry. Oh, yeah, you're trying to show
Mm.
off you have an electric car. Like he was really, really upset. I'm like, bros, I'm not the cause of your frustration. Do you understand?
Right.
What that I have when I'm driving. And I'm
Oh,
sorry to
bless.
feel this way, but you cannot explain yourself to a lot of people. People are generally angry that things don't seem to work in their favor. A lot of people seem to work so hard and get so little.
Mm.
And so there's that general
Mm.
frustration going on that you're having to pay so much for a lot of things when it's not
Things,
supposed to
yeah.
be. And then you have the whole anger. I'm talking about based in the UK. A lot of people
Mm.
being upset that a lot of migrants are coming into the country, get first dibs on a lot of things. And you have people that are citizens born in this country that are kind of ignored. I know somebody that was on the housing list waiting for almost 6 months up until the bailiff got to her door before she got a house. But you have people that come to this country and are giving money, provided for all of that. So people, there's genuine anger and their reasons are valid because there
Mm.
seems to be so much that is going on and yet so little that you receive as a citizen when it comes to remuneration, when it comes to getting your money's worth. Because you make more money, but you're spending more.
Mm. Mm.
And more is taken off you. We recently,
It's
every year, our council tax seems to be increased. Every blessed
it
year.
will always go.
I got
It
into
will
the
always
whole because we were told that if you get an electric car, you don't pay road tax, you don't pay congestion charge. Well, we'll start paying congestion charge from next year.
of
So we
course.
had a couple of years of not paying congestion charge. So when you look at it, it is annoying because you're told one thing and another thing is being done. So there's general anger with those kind of things. Our NHS, unfortunately, seems to be overstretched. The
Mm.
staff, the NHS staff are complaining that they're understaffed and underpaid, while we,
Mm-hmm.
as citizens, are saying the NHS, the wait takes forever. Nobody answers us. They're cutting services, so many things. Their social care is being cut down. Child benefits is being cut down, parks and recreation is being cut down, housing, social housing is being cut down. So many things are being cut
Mm.
down, but so much is taken from us. So where is the money going to? So that's where the
Mm.
anger is coming from. And if you don't work, you don't eat. And if you don't eat, or if you don't work, you don't pay your bills. So people's feelings are very exceptionally are valid.
Everyone, of course. Look, no one is in anyone else's body
Mm,
unless you are a witch, which that's not what we're talking about today. You cannot invalidate someone else's
experience.
experience because it's their experience. Whether or not you agree with it, it's still their experience. So you're right. Their feelings are valid. But Sissy, there are some people that don't have any of those issues that are listed and are real and are still angry. What is causing this, you know, deep-seated anger? So in our decade, if you will, of life that we're in, we've seen
Mm,
different phases in the world, if you will. And I can remember prior to COVID where it wasn't even anger, and even during COVID, fear was the prevailing emotion in the world. Fear. Then middle of COVID, and actually I can pinpoint it when George Floyd was
right.
killed, because that's what happened. When
Mm,
George Floyd was killed, anger, high anger, just pretty much seeped into everyone's psyche, majority of the world's psyche around the world that has access to information. And since then, because if you think about it, Sissy, after that point in time was the advent of the Karen, because Karen wasn't a thing before
mm,
then in
mm,
terms of it being named and
yeah,
shamed as it is
yeah,
now. The
yeah.
advent of Karen. It's also the advent of questions on the internet that are specially designed to split people's mind
Mm,
into like just scatter all the atoms in your mind. Like there was this question that one of our friends on our friend WhatsApp group posted, that's been making rounds on the internet, where it says, as a woman, if you enter a forest and would you rather be in a forest with a strange man or a bear? And like, what is what?
Neither,
Why you
please.
asking the question? I went, well, it's very obvious why that question originated. Obviously,
I don't
it's
know.
to okay, well, from my perspective, it's to point out that men are not safe because most people would choose the bear as opposed to most women chose actually. So it's not would choose. Most
I don't
women
choose
chose
any.
the bear.
If I was going to choose anything, I was going to choose the man, not a bear. Why would I want to see a bear in the woods?
Well, Sissy, but because I think it's also back to our background. We see bears rather as very dangerous animals. Not all bears are dangerous. There
Yeah.
are some species that would run from you as opposed to run towards you to try and eat you.
Mm.
Obviously, don't play with a panda bear. Do not play with a black bear. But if it's the brown ones, the ones that they turn into teddy bear cuddly, those
Oh,
ones
it's the same, please. Just like people that sing about
actually.
baby shark, do do, are sharks cute things? Are they?
Honestly, what is that? Anyways, but okay, but
Sorry,
okay.
daddy pig and mommy pig. A wild pig will bite you or boar. So what are you saying? In
I
fact,
know, but
I saw a
please
video
now,
of somebody going to pet a wild boar. He said, "Oh, like it was Pumba," and he
Pumba, yes,
was on the phone in his hand, and the bear, like the
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 book.
ball, rushed him. And his phone fell. You could just hear him say, "Ow." Why would you want to pet a
Right.
wild pig? Why?
Okay, okay. Sorry, to that point, to be fair, given any circumstance, a bear can maul a human being. Because if it is a mother bear that's just had a baby and can't find her baby, and then you just randomly wander around this path, and they think you're a danger to the baby they still haven't found, they will
Mm,
probably attack you. Anyways,
yeah.
the point is, most women on the internet chose, I would rather be in the forest with a bear than a man. And it was obviously a question created with the intent to once again cause the men female divide. Women do not feel safe with men, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. I'm not blind in terms of being dismissive, by the way, for those listening to this. I'm blind in terms of this was intentional and it was done so as to create anger.
Mm,
Someone now turned the question on the head, that why are you saying women, alone should choose? And I actually posted it on our friendship WhatsApp group, that there's a question that both men and women can answer. If you had a daughter or a niece or someone, a young ward,
mm,
who is about to enter a forest, would you rather they're in the forest with a strange man or a bear? And a lot of people, men, women, would still choose bear. And that is because in this day and age, we've been conditioned to see men as a certain thing. And I'm evolving. This is not a men versus women topic at all. And that is because the bombardment on our minds through what we read, what we watch, what we hear, the conversations we've had over the past 3 years, since the COVID years, going now into 20, so 4 years pretty
mm,
much, because COVID was March 2020, that when we really went into lockdown. We've been bombarded with things to anger us. Like, if you really look at it, you unpack it, you come and realize this is a box of Pandora's anger.
mm,
Like, it has been unleashed on the world. And I don't think we have stopped to actually, objectively look at what's going on. This is propaganda, if you will, that we have been subjected to intentionally or passively by our own selves in terms of our view on the world, where we cannot even trust other people, number one, where
mm,
we are looking for someone to bring a fight to us, as in, just bring it, I will show you who I am, that sort of thing. And I myself, because when he said it on Sunday, I was like, Ibukun, what's your problem actually? Why are you so angry? Because prior to that conversation, I would say the only thing that could incite anger, like real anger, or not that how best to say it, intolerance, or almost like an irritation. So real anger, as in I am angry to the point of, dare I say it, violence, because that is what is manifesting right now,
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
only be if someone intentionally harms my children. That's the only thing that I would have said prior to that statement being made by the pastor on Sunday. I'll say it's only my children, like you doing something against my children, that can get me to that point of anger. But now that a lot of things have been added to that list, I'll put up my hand and say it. A lot of things have been added to that list. And the one I would say, now that I unpacked it, is bullying. If I see anyone being bullied, whether you're my child or not, I get extremely angry. Not
Mm.
upset. Upset is too mild a word for it. I get extremely angry. And that is, if you will, my reference to why that question on the internet was made to incite anger. Because why are you asking such a question? Not every single man is a predator, but
Mm.
that is what you are positioning this to be.
Mm.
Even if you are in the situation where it was uncomfortable and the man is a predator, you should have enough confidence to know you will get out of that. But that's not what you're looking at. You're just looking at, I don't want to be in the same space with
Yeah.
someone you automatically presume is a predator.
Mm.
Why are people doing this? Why?
I didn't even know that there was anything like that. Like I was that was the first time that I was coming across that question.
Mm.
So I don't know. Can you put that down to women being angry with men generally, or
Yeah, I'll say that.
but you cannot use one brush to tar everyone.
See, rationality has left the conversation. You are very right, but no one is thinking rationally anymore. Because think about it. I have sons. I actually don't have daughters.
Hmm.
You are telling me you would rather be, especially if you don't know my sons. Most of you listening do not know my sons. But you're telling me you would rather be in the forest with a bear than one of my sons who you don't know.
It's really sad.
Even me, I'll come as the bear. That is the stupidity we have gotten to in the world. Oh Lord. See, God is patient. Oh, for those of you who are Christians, I hope you understand this reference. God is patient,
Very
and
sad.
there's a reason He is God and a man is not God.
Mm.
Because if a man were God, in fact, let me talk for myself. If I were God, a lot of people, in fact, there'll only be a few people in this world. Let me be honest. Because thunder and lightning would have killed a few. In fact, the flood of Noah would have happened 10,000 times
Again
before
and again and again.
today.
Well, yeah.
Ay, ay, ay. Oh, my word.
I think it also calls for deep introspective thinking as a
Mm,
society. There, I think there are a lot of things that have gone wrong with the society generally, and there has
yeah.
to be a lot of pro what's that word now? Thought provoking
Mm-hmm.
conversations that need to be had.
Mm,
Because for some people, their anger is valid. Or can I say, a lot of people say their anger is valid one way or the other. But for some people, it's not. Do you
mm,
understand? There was a lot of
mm,
anger yesterday, 2 days ago. We had about a few days ago. I mean, we had about the Nigerian boy that was killed by some random
mm,
person that obviously has a mental imbalance. Nobody can tell me anything. That calls, I was angry, I was upset because I could
mm,
give that to that child.
mm,
So when you look at it, it hits home. So
mm,
our anger, the anger that a lot of people feel channeled to that person is valid.
yeah,
Who
it
was
is.
responsible for his mental health? Did he just switch or he has been sectioned? How did he get a samurai sword? Why did anyone? Because just like you have a firearm in this country, your name is registered, except you have the pre-World Wars firearms, which have no serial
Yeah.
numbers. Some people have that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very few. You have a lot of that in America as compared to here. Although I haven't said that that's not true, because a lot of people have had
Mm-hmm.
in terms of gangs. But what where is the database for people that have samurai swords? You have people that have drones and have to register on the database that they are drone drivers. So drone pilots, sorry. So how
Mm-hmm.
do we not have a database for people that have samurai swords? Even if they brought into the country covertly, a lot of things are checked and vetoed. Who is checking up on these people? Where did he get it from? Did he buy it randomly as he always had it? This individual has there have there been cases of him stepping out of line? There was the one that happened in Bristol last year. The guy was a
Mm-hmm.
nut. He had been known to authorities and he had been trying to get into people's houses before he got to that place that killed those three people. Why
Mm-hmm.
didn't anybody call the police? So I think we all have a moral duty as gatekeepers of this society. I think we are all reporters. We are all citizens. We can all take out citizens' arrest. So it's our responsibility as adults, as individuals, see something, say something. But a lot of times people mind their business. So I want to know how
Mm-hmm.
this guy got to this point. When he left home with that thing, didn't anybody see him? The people that were running around, okay, I heard somebody shouting, lock your doors, lock your doors, lock your doors, run, run. I heard someone's voice echoing it. Or
Mm-hmm.
I don't, you see, it calls for a lot of questioning. Where did they go wrong? Where did it fail? Where was the duty of care? Because somebody obviously there was no duty of care. How did
Okay.
that man slip through the cracks? So that is genuine anger. Questions. And nobody tell me lessons I've been learned. You cannot learn a lesson about a loss of a life that can never come back. You can learn a lesson for somebody that was hurt. Like the police woman that was hurt. Yes, she might have lost, I don't know but they said she had a gruesome attack which affected her hand and she had to go into surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Lost a few fingers, but she's alive. There's a young
Mm-hmm.
kid that will never go to school, that will never
Because
come to his parents' door, that will never give his mom a hug, that will never get married. He will continue being the 14-year-old forever till Jesus comes. So, what is the lesson that can be learned in this situation? I am angry, I am emotional, I am upset because somebody definitely failed one way or the other to rein this sick individual in. And you know what they say? Many are mad, few are roaming. He looks like he's okay, but obviously he's not.
mm-hmm. Well,
Also,
in this
as a
day and age,
yeah, but as a
yeah, go
society,
on.
as individuals, I think we need to start looking around. I don't get consumed when I'm walking on the road. If you're coming too close to me, I look sideways like I'm looking at something, but my eyes are at the back of my head. I'm looking at you. And sometimes I slow down so you could pass me and then
Mm-hmm.
continue. But it's just being aware of our surroundings. It is very important. There are so many unhinged individuals. And trust me, it is not going to end.
It's not.
There will be people that are wired that way. What was he trying to pass across? Why did he think it was okay? Oh, and it's not behind this young man. Why did he think it was okay to do that?
No, no, no. Like you
Pick
said,
on
this
someone
person
your own
is mad.
side. Pick on
No,
someone
no.
your own size.
This person is mad. But no, he wasn't even picking. His intent was to kill. He wasn't picking a fight. He just wanted to kill. So definitely psychopathic behavior. All the psych kind of prefixes should be labeled on this individual. Okay. Now let us rightly divide this conversation, if you will. We're talking about valid anger and invalid anger, all morphed into one giant bowl of anger. And there are things like that example of a child losing his life that there are no two ways about it. It's such an upsetting situation that justifies the anger. It really does. And but then what I think has since happened, because this has always happened, unfortunately, in the world, where cycles go on a rampage, shooting sprees,
Mm,
mass shooting murders,
mm,
gang drive-by shootings. It has always happened, but it seems to be amplified by other nonsensical situations that just keeps everyone on edge, which is really, it's almost like a bomb being built gradually across the world in people's mental spaces. The
Mm.
anger is just brewing. So the one that is valid, or the one that is invalid, all together, it's just brewing
Mm.
and brewing. And to be honest with you, it's down to each individual how you manage it. Because I think as a whole, as a population, we are angrier than we used to be.
Mm.
Valid and invalid. We are just angry. What is it? It's like right now, we're both in our houses, it's raining. I'm not angry about the rain. I actually quite like the coziness a rain, a rainy day provides.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you would go outside and somebody was saying this, they will be swearing
Oh,
about rain.
yeah.
They'll be swearing. They'll be swearing about the rain, and you'll be thinking, okay, we are going to switch off the tap. What are you going to do
Yeah.
about it? There
Yep.
are some things that are not worth getting angry about, and
No.
it's down to you as an individual. Of course, stand up for the right things. Do
Yes.
not just sit passively and let people do horrible things, or just passively say, well, there's nothing I can physically do about that, so I'm then not going to say anything. I'm talking about practical things, by the way. Like I
Mm.
said, with the rain, no one can go and switch off the tap in heaven. It is raining, it is raining. Calm down, right? But if it is along the lines of that boy that was killed, to your point, to see, there needs to be a database for things like those swords, because it's proven time and time again to be a really dangerous tool in the hands of the wrong people.
Yep.
Now, for things like that stupid question on the internet, there is really no need for it. For things like um, when George Floyd died, and yes, a lot of sins come out to light to then. Those police officers should never have killed him. Never.
Mm.
It's
No.
There's no justification for it.
It's
But
better
when
way
you have,
for that. Yeah, because he wasn't hurting anybody. There was no weapon found on him. The all he
honestly,
said was drugs.
but the current videos, because that's one thing the pastor mentioned. The current videos that are on YouTube, people will compile snapshots of people being Karens. So for those who are not familiar with the terminology Karen, I don't know why they chose the name Karen. So Karen, it's the term given to women specifically who are angry for no reason and are pretty much demanding to get their own way, or their viewpoint across to people who do not care. Let's start
Or not
there. Or,
interested.
exactly, or people who she's pretty much victimizing. So for a good example would be, and I've seen this over and over again, where they go to a shop, like a supermarket or even a fast food restaurant, and because they're unhappy with the level of service, they start being extremely aggressive. There was even one that I watched where she slapped the woman at a fast food restaurant,
Hey.
and the video was about, if you will, a Karen getting her karma. And
Mm.
she slapped the wrong person, because she slapped the person that was walking away. This
Mm.
person jumped over the counter, pounced on her, pummeled her, and summarily threw her out of the fast food restaurant. And
Wow.
everyone was like, yes, yes, go on. I would not lie. Me too, I was saying, yes, yes, go on, go on. And I'm like, hold on, Ibukun, wait,
What are
wait.
you celebrating?
Ay, 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 ay. Of course, the Bible says, when the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy. Let's
Mm.
put it that way. Yes, of course. When someone instantaneously reaps the fruit of the seed they have sown, it does gladden your heart to see there's still justice in the world. But
True.
then I realized that was not my battle to fight. It wasn't my battle to fight. I wasn't there. I was not the one recording. Actually, do you know what annoys me about those current situations? The person recording is what annoys me. I'm sorry, back to the anger situation. You are recording watching someone being bullied.
Mm.
You do not intervene. Your own is to record and put
And
it on
post.
YouTube.
Mm.
I, I really.
I think we're in a social media age. Everyone whips out their phone instead of helping. You have a lot of those, a lot of those situations. They seem to be on the rise everywhere. Instead of
Hmm.
dealing with the issue, we are recording because you want to post it and get views and make money. Because the more times your videos or your post is viewed, the more money you make. So a lot of people take advantage of that fact. So you have that
To
as
be
well.
honest with you, you're as bad as the Karen. You are as bad as the Karen. Because in the society we should be living in, once
Mm.
someone starts to kick off, you say no. There's this show they used to do in the States. It's almost like what would you do? They would create scenarios, and the people around the scenario wouldn't know
But
it's acting that's going on. And then they will see. So social experiments pretty much. And then they will see how people react to it. I have seen some really heartwarming reactions, you know. They are not whipping out their phones to now record to say, let's see how this goes. They are actually standing up for the person in such a terrible situation. And that is the way society should be. So back to that point, I'm making a commitment with myself to stop watching Karen videos. Unless I
yeah,
start
I mean,
watching
it
it
was
and
a
I didn't know
thing.
it was a Karen video. Oh, it's a thing. They'll title it Karen videos. The
Okay.
reason is because I find myself angry for a while after that. And my mind is dwelling on it. Genuinely, this is me being open
Feel,
with
yep.
you. Yeah, because you are what you feed yourself, what you feed your mind, you know, and then you realize, like, I'm just waiting for someone to say the wrong thing. You don't even know that this is what you've become. You are just waiting
Mm.
for someone to say the wrong word in the wrong place for you to show
At the
them
wrong time.
at the
So
wrong
you could just
time.
hang it, like you're set. But yeah, it does
Ah,
happen.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. So, if you will, to everyone listening, who, if you find yourself getting angry, more frequently than you used to, check what is around you genuinely, because for me it's YouTube is my TV. I actually don't normally watch normal TV,
Mm.
so I would, when I want to decompress after a long day, of which I have many, I would take YouTube and just watch some shorts or even some videos. And we are bombarded by things to make us angry, not even fearful. Fear is not the propaganda these days. It's anger. And if you put an angry person in a volatile situation, they will shoot off.
Mm.
And it does create significant havoc. Significant havoc. Anyways, those are my views. Sissy, could you summarize your views and close us out?
I don't really have any summary. For me, for a lot of people, their anger is valid. For a lot of people, for some people, the anger is not valid. And I just think we need to sometimes take a step back and try not to get riled up because, like you said, there are moments that you're waiting for someone to just say, do, or just say something, say, do, or behave a certain type of way, and you lash out. And
Hmm.
sometimes not every fight that you are called to that you actually partake in. And I think that's one thing that I have
Hmm.
learned. Like I learned growing up, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of you not knowing your rights and all of that. Sometimes you just need to not get involved in certain things, not because you don't care, but you rather give your energy to something else. And I think it's very important if we channel our energy to the right place. um I think the world would be a better place. And if we all took this advice on board, like we all do that in our little spaces, I think we'll be a lot better because there are a lot of people generally they are angry birds and you cannot redeem them. They can only
Hmm.
God can redeem them. You can't do anything. And those kind of people you can't help. But what
Hmm.
is within your power, then do what you need to do. But it's not negating your feelings or not making it seem like they're not valid. They are valid, but getting angry about it won't change a thing. Maybe you might
Well,
get, oh, maybe if you get a lash out and you yell and you shout, you probably will get a reaction, good or bad. But
hmm.
I just think sometimes a lot of the times it's actually not necessary because it can lead to something bigger than what it is. And you'll be wondering, what what made you angry.
Well said, Sissy. On that note, we'll close out. Thank you for joining us on the podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Say bye bye, Sissy.
Bye. See you on the next one.
Bye. Bye.